Alright, let me see. Oh no, looks like I got this little error here. Anyway, just gonna move past that and continue on doing what we do here. So, I saw an article last night that I wanted to chat about this morning. I saw it like right before I went to bed. So, anyway, now I'm here to share with you some of my thoughts. First, I'm trying to set up my chat so I can hop on, say what's up, like I do. All right. See Molly Lassiter, how you doing? Robbie Turbo, what's happening? Send Animus. All right. Shoot, that's all we got for now. Chase, what's happening? What's happening? Just giving it a little bit of time. Get some more people in here. It's all good. Saying what's up to everybody. Much love to you here. What is this? May 3rd, is it? What is today? Sunday the 3rd. Time's flying, ain't it? Jordan Duran, Amanda Lynn, what's happening? Snafu Times, what's going on? Jacobine. All right. I just wanted to ask some simple questions, like I do, because we all got questions about what's going on these days. With this nonsense going on. Spanky, what's happening? Robert Kardaki, Mark Collard, DB253. Are you in Tacoma? What's going on? William R. Yeah, locked down for what? I wanted to put that instrumental on, but anyway. Stars not far. Hey, what's up, Jim? TITRH, what's going on? Okay. He says you can start now since he's here. Okay. E flat Deontay, what's good? What's up, Ray Vernon Williamson? All right. Okay. So since Dave Weiss is in the house, I guess we can go ahead and get started. It's been a little bit. All right, Steve A, Danny Kennedy, what's going on? Monica Matthews, what's happening? All right, folks. So what we've been seeing lately from different sources, I'm pretty sure you've been on social media and looking around because you're probably connected to like-minded people on your social media accounts, and subscribe to some great content creators who are putting some good stuff out there. ODD's been putting some good stuff out lately. I've been looking at some of the mainstream stuff. It's kind of surprising that Fox News has been covering some things a little more closely. So I thought that was interesting. I might play this video from Tucker Carlson. He did one the other day about totalitarianism and how we just kind of got used to it. But we just got to get back to the point to where we understand that we're not slaves. We're not subjects. There's no king here. There's no ruler over us. What we're supposed to have in this constitutional republic is elected officials, people that we put in charge, and ultimately, the government's supposed to be run for the people, in support of the people's best interest, and that's not really what's going on. The government's been ultimately, going hard lately with the stripping of our God-given rights. Been shutting down churches. They've discouraged mass gatherings. Effectively broken up protests. It's been nuts out here. So I saw an article yesterday that just kind of ties into this whole thing. So let me get this together. Working on my presentation skills out here. Okay, so here's what we got. Just saw this last night. Coronavirus, scientists conclude people cannot be infected twice. Now, the thing is, All right, so here we're interacting. This is what I like to do sometimes. So, put a one in the chat if you don't mind. If you feel like you've beaten COVID, without even trying. Because me personally, I put this, I put a status up the other day or something in my story, like one of the little pictures I do. It says, thinking back, I believe I beat COVID back in December without even trying. And I got dozens of messages from people in my inbox telling me, reacting to that story, saying the same thing. Yeah, my family was sick, back in November time frame. So put a one in the chat if between November time frame and February, between November and February, if you or you and your family were like sick to a point to where you believe that you're now looking back at it like you beat COVID. If you beat COVID months ago, like I believe I did, put a one in the chat. If you know people who feel like they beat COVID months ago. Okay, I'm seeing them already. Look, so what I'm saying, there was a point back in December for about 2 weeks, right? I was I was still getting up, going to work. I was still going to the gym. I was, I didn't change anything. Everything was fine, but I just felt like I was a little worn down. I felt like I had first had like a cold. It felt a little tougher than a cold, but I got over it. But it still kind of lingered. And what happened? I had like a minor chest congestion. I felt like I needed to cough up some phlegm, but it just wouldn't come up, and it felt like that, this tightness in my chest for a couple weeks, to a point to where this guy that I work with, my dude Josh, he turns around, he's like, I'm at the job coughing and things. He's like, dude, you all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm all right, man. I'll be cool. But I was coming in, and I'll have like a minor coughing fit like once or twice a day, and I'm just trying to, reel it back in, like, because I don't get sick. It's like very rare for me to get sick. I might get sick once a year, maybe. That's just been the way it's been for like the last decade or so. I'll get sick one good time like every year, maybe, and that's about it. But I feel like I had coronavirus back in December time frame, and I'm seeing a lot of people who feel the same way. So I appreciate your feedback. Let me get that back on here. Okay, so I appreciate your feedback. Um, let me see now. Yeah, if y'all take care of trolls, please. Thank you. Anyway, so all right, so on with the article. Let me adjust this. Hold up. Okay. All right, we're good now. All right, so scientists conclude people cannot be infected twice. Okay. And okay, let's get into this. A number of reported cases of coronavirus patients relapsing after overcoming the disease were actually due to testing failures, South Korean scientists say. Testing failures. Researchers at South Korean Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, now say it is impossible for the COVID-19 virus to reactivate in human bodies. Do I need to continue reading? I'll continue reading, but here we go. I just want to highlight this. I want everybody to. I forgot to put the link in the description for this article, but I'll put it in soon enough, like right after we're done. But this right here. It is impossible for the COVID-19 virus to reactivate in human bodies. So right there, everybody that put a one in the chat just a second ago, we're fine. We need to go back to society now. We need to just get back to what we're doing, okay? Because it's not even necessary. That's it's right there. Do we trust science? We trust scientists, right? That's what they teach us in the mainstream, to trust the professionals. If that's what the professionals came up with, then by all means, why are we still on lockdown? So yeah, let's there have been more than 10,000 confirmed coronavirus cases in South Korea with 245 deaths, a 2.3% fatality rate, which is lower than the 3.4 average, as stated by the World Health Organization. A total of 277 patients in the county were believed to have fallen ill for a second time, as had patients in China and Japan. This prompted concerns that the virus could be mutating so quickly that people were not necessarily immune to catching it again. However, genetic analyses of the virus have not found any substantial changes which would effectively disguise it from the immune system. Sounds like good news. Partially as a result of these reports, the World Health Organization warned governments against using so-called immunity passports to allow people to return back to work simply because they have antibodies for the virus. Immunity passports are a proposed way of allowing countries to begin to lift their coronavirus lockdowns in a targeted manner and resume economic activity. They would be issued to people who have already overcome a COVID-19 infection and test positive for antibodies to the virus based on the assumption that they are therefore immune. And in an update to its guidance, the World Health Organization warned that there was no evidence that people who have recovered from COVID-19 and have antibodies are protected from a second infection. That's coming from the World Health Organization. Now, let's pause for a little bit. When you're looking at these stories, reading these articles, and listening to these people talk, they always use words like guidance, like right here, guidance, guidelines. They don't say law. They're suggestions. That's the thing. It's guidance. This is our guidance. These are our directives, but it's not law. See what I mean? Just putting that out there. These are different things. These things are being perpetuated by our consent to them. So, but it was not expected that Anyway, the PCR test used to check the blood for antigens, actual particles of the virus itself, could also have issues. South Korea's CDC has found that the test results for the suspected relapse patients were false positives and warned the test it used was not able to distinguish between live traces of the virus and the harmless dead samples which remain after a patient has recovered. The World Health Organization has also warned that immunity certification depended upon the rapidly developed tests being checked for accuracy and reliability before being used. Okay. Hold up. Okay. The use of such certificates may therefore increase the risks of continued transmission. Its guidance added that the time, although this guidance is currently being kept under review. There's that guidance thing again. The CDC added that unlike other viruses such as HIV and chickenpox, which can break into the nucleus of human cells and stay latent for years before reactivating, the coronavirus stays outside the host cell nucleus. This means that it does not cause chronic infection or reoccurrence. Okay, so I mean, is the science sound here? It seems to check out. I like it. I can deal with this science. I mean, we're accused of being science deniers, but at the same time, can we embrace this? Can we all embrace this at the same time? They're telling us that this means that it does not cause chronic infection or reoccurrence. So all we have to do, us, since we already had it, there's nothing that we really need to do other than just get back to our lives, business as usual. But anyway, let me see. I think this is about the end of it. This means it does not cause chronic infection or recurrence, explained Dr. Oh Myung-dun, the head of the CDC committee, meaning it is unlikely for patients to relapse in this fashion. In the future, it could be possible that the coronavirus mutates and infects people who have previously overcome it. He said, in the future, it could be possible that the coronavirus mutates and infects people who have previously overcome it, similarly to the flu. Okay, so even if they develop a vaccine, and I, put up a post about this a while ago. So they're sitting here saying that it could mutate and infect people who have overcome it just like the flu. So there's people who have had the flu multiple times. There's people who've had flu shots multiple times. Um, I know people who've gone to get the flu shot every year, typically end up sick. But if they're saying that we can't really get back to normal unless we have a vaccine, and that's what Fauci and Bill Gates are pushing, that in order for things to get back to normal, so we can get back to having social gathering, everybody needs to be vaccinated. But China seems to have overcome this whole thing, and as I could be wrong, did China kind of get past it? Did they flatten the curve and get back to normal? So if they did that, if any place on Earth has dealt with coronavirus and gotten back to normal, and at the same time we're being told that there is no vaccine that's been developed for this, why are we still talking about a vaccine? Well, we know, because it's a biological weapon for tracking. They want to be able to keep tabs on everybody. They want to continue to use this whole thing to crack down. So that's kind of what's going on. Okay. So yeah, they're saying that people cannot be infected twice. That's the story. That's the story, folks. What's going on? Let me see. Somebody said post it, please. Let me see. Copy. I'm gonna try to put the link in the chat, or I'll just drop the link in the chat for the article right here. But I'll put that in the description when this video is concluded. Now, other than that, let's see now. I want to throw up something else. I want to watch this video with you all so we can see what's going on. Now, what's been interesting to me is that that this dude Tucker Carlson on Fox has been I'm saying dude's been doing his thing as far as the whole trying to get the truth out there. So had to fix my stage now, correct the studio since I still got that up here. Anyway, but yeah, this is the video that I was wanting to play the other night when I did the live stream. But check this out. This is nuts. Okay, so let's get this started.
The consulting firm McKinsey & Company called Peter Walker. Like so many in finance and consulting, Walker spent an awful lot of his career doing business in China. We have no idea how much money he made doing that. We do know that along the way, Walker internalized a lot of the attitudes of China's totalitarian government. During our interview, we asked Walker what he thought of China's lockdowns. Here's what he said. Now, credible reports suggest that Chinese authorities locked people in their apartments and left them to die. We know they snatched people off the street and threw them into police vans. God knows where they went. That's the quarantine that you think they deserve high praise for. Why?
Well, I think, Tucker, if you just look at the results, okay, so I know there's always going to be questions about exactly what the numbers are, but I think the harsh action that they took, given the scale of China and the number of big cities in it, was exactly what they needed to do to be able to prevent the outbreak from going any further. And the reality is the outbreak hasn't gone much beyond Wuhan.
But I don't know if you can see this very well, but the way he's responding to this question, he's looking up. Like he won't raise his eyes up to actually look at the camera or look at Tucker to look. They say the eyes are the window of the soul. You can tell a lot. You can tell a lot um, about a person, about their mind state when they're communicating with you by what their eyes look like. And this dude looks like he's got some stuff to hide. Like his eyes are looking downward. Like he doesn't even really believe what he's saying, but it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell if he actually believes what he's saying or if he's just feeling guilty about this stuff. Just watch him though.
So the secret police kidnapping citizens off the street, authorities locking people in their apartments from the outside until they starve to death. Just look at the results. All of that, Walker said, was, quote, exactly what they needed to do. This is the view of one of America's most prominent business leaders. He did not seem ashamed to say it. In fact, later in our interview, Walker suggested that American authorities could have done the same things in New York if only they'd gotten an earlier start. Kind of a shame they didn't. Your jaw dropped watching it. But here's the striking thing. Nobody seemed to notice that he said it. Walker didn't find himself on the front page of the New York Times the next morning. No one in American business denounced him. He went home to bed, and that was it. Totalitarianism does not shock us anymore. Maybe that's because all of a sudden, it's all around us. You may have seen this tape already. If not, you've likely seen many more like it in the past few weeks.
Right.
2 armed officers arrive at a family's home in Wisconsin. Someone has reported the mother to police for arranging a play date for her daughter. That's now a crime. Here's what happened next.
Are you aware that we're in a stay-at-home order right now?
Yeah, obviously.
By the government?
Yes, I am aware.
Okay, you're aware of that?
I am aware.
So I don't need to explain that to you?
Why are you here?
Because your daughter is going to play at other people's home and you're allowing it to happen.
This is what we're dealing with right now, folks. I don't know if anybody's really at a point where they're like still arguing with so-called conspiracy theorists about these things that we've been talking about for a while. The government's trying to take over this and that. Secret societies operating things behind the scenes, and all that good stuff. I don't know if we got a whole lot of skeptics, but at this point, it should be blatantly obvious to anybody, that we're kind of losing rights. We're losing control here, and like I showed you the other night with the Masonic police patches. The police, they are not working for the people. They swore an oath to the Masonic order, and that's what they're about. So, these type of things are going to be happening. Let me see. Why does he not stay home? Right. Yeah. Look, cynical skeptic said, why does he not stay home? Meaning the police. Yeah. Because the orders, the laws that are in place, they're for the peasants, for the servants, right? For the sheep, or the cattle. Okay, that doesn't apply to them. That's why Mike Pence can walk around a hospital with no mask on, shaking hands with people who are in the bed. He's got staff around him. They all got masks on, but he doesn't have to wear it. This is why we see people up on stage at these White House briefings and all that, and they're all standing like shoulder to shoulder, not social distancing. Those rules are for us. That's not for them. So that's the world we live in. Hold on.
Having your kid go by other people's home.
Are we done here?
No, we're not.
Okay.
Your middle initial and your last name.
I'm not giving it to you. I haven't done anything wrong.
Okay. Perfect. We got it.
Yes.
Okay.
And that'll be documented too, that you're uncooperative.
You were uncooperative. That will be documented. Notice the tone they strike with this mother. They are standing on her property, uninvited, hectoring her about the so-called crime of allowing her daughter to play outside the house.
A play date.
They're not apologizing for this. They're not embarrassed to be carrying out an order that has no basis in science. They are utterly self-confident. They treat her with pure contempt like a peasant. And later, the Calumet County Sheriff's Department posted an account of what happened on their Facebook page. In it, they refer to that mother's mobile home 6 times. Just, she lives in a mobile home. Oh, just a prole, just a peasant. Shut up and obey. Who cares what she thinks?
Yeah, that's how they play us.
They believe they have the right to do that. The question is, where exactly do they get that right? That's a good question. It's a question that we are strongly discouraged from asking. The short answer is governors told them they could. Never in American history have politicians been more powerful than they are now. Effectively, they are gods. In the state of Maine, for example, Governor Janet Mills now has the power to suspend any law she doesn't like. She can seize any state resource she feels like seizing. She can force any citizen or all citizens from their home. She can do all of this for as long as she wants, as long as she believes Maine is in a state of emergency. In fact, there's virtually nothing that Janet Mills can't now do. Many governors now have these powers. J.B. Pritzker is the governor of Illinois. On Monday, Pritzker did his best to explain why his word is now law in the state. It has to be law, he explained. Otherwise, thousands would die.
All right, now
The
watch this.
stay-at-home order has prevented tens of thousands of illnesses and thousands of deaths. History will remember those who put politics aside to come together to keep people safe. It will also remember those who so blindly devoted to ideology and the pursuit of personal celebrity that they made an enemy of science and of reason.
All right, so my thing here is that what they're not covering in the news is all the other issues. They talk about the lockdown, they're talking about preventing the spread of COVID, and they'll just continue to report on the job loss numbers, the unemployment. The last numbers on that, 30 million people are unemployed right now as a result of this lockdown because of what's going on right now due to this situation that's been proven to have such a low mortality rate overall. 30 million people are out of work. Domestic violence is on the rise. Child abuse is on the rise. Alcoholism is on the rise. People are stressed out. People are getting desperate. And that's why there are more of these protests popping up. But people are already understanding that it's not as serious as we've been told that it is. And so they're taking to the streets. And, I mean, we're coming to a point to where push is going to come to shove. But at the same time, we have to keep ourselves informed and inform other people who are still asleep, because it's people who still believe that this thing is serious because they've had these personal experiences. I was going back and forth with this lady who she just wouldn't budge, even though there's been studies that come out saying that the mortality rate is between 0.1 to 0.3, even though doctors, people in the medical field have come forward saying, whenever somebody dies for whatever reason, we're being pressured to list it as a COVID death. There's been people who made videos who said, I went to the hospital for this and then I come out and they got me listed as COVID. Although there's been all this evidence showing that it's not that serious, people are still afraid because they're like believing the mainstream narrative. So that's what we got to deal with. That's what we have to contend with, even still after all this evidence is out here. So I mean, try not to stress yourself out too much. Prepare for what might be coming next. Survival food, buying canned goods. maybe not canned goods, non-perishables as best you can. Start planting seeds, stocking up on water, things like that, because it's a good possibility things might get a little bit worse than they, before they get better. But anyway, let's continue. Oh, shout out to Copper Butterfly, Indigenous X. Appreciate you, Sarada. Thank you for keeping us well informed. Critical thinking is a must. You are absolutely right. And that's what a lot of people are not doing at this point. I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
In 3 sentences, Governor Pritzker.
Are you tired of the media spinning the truth and pushing false narratives? Well, take a look at this. Over the last 3 years,
All right, moving along.
Pritzker framed himself as a leader of historic statue. Those who doubt his decrees are, quote, enemies of science and reason, enemies of civilization itself, enemies of the state. 2 days later, on this Wednesday, it emerged that Pritzker's own wife, who has her own state employees, was one of these people. His wife apparently had violated the lockdown herself. Governor Pritzker was asked about this. Here's how he responded.
All right, you heard what he said. Look, he said this guy, this greasy politician right here, said his wife violated the stay-at-home orders. Ain't that something? Because the rules don't apply to them. Check it out. Check out his response to this.
Your response to people who say the stay-at-home order and non-essential travel bans aren't being abided by your family. I believe there's a report from Illinois Rising Action that says that she recently traveled to Florida.
Well, first of all, I want to say that in politics, it used to be that we kept our families out of it. My official duties have nothing to do with my family. So I'm just not going to answer that question. It's inappropriate, and I find it reprehensible, honestly, that reporter wrote a story about it.
So she asked him, do the stay-at-home orders apply to your family? We're getting feedback that it doesn't seem to apply because your wife just traveled to Florida. He's like, I'm not going to answer that question. And he finds it reprehensible, and he's disappointed that the reporter even wrote that story. Like, what gives these people the right? What gives these people the right to tell us what we can do, where we can and can't go, how we can and cannot live our lives, whether or not we can gather together, but their family members are able to move about freely, and if they're called on it, then they're just like, nah. What the heck happened? I saw a message up here. H-Town Black, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, I got ill intent for these folks too. But yeah. All right, so here, let's move on. Inappropriate.
Yeah, how dare someone cover that? Asking about whether or not J.B. Pritzker's own family is obeying the order that your family is morally obligated to follow is, quote, inappropriate. Indeed, the governor says it is reprehensible. How dare you? It would be very useful in moments like this to have an independent media. News organizations exist to hold the powerful to account. Here we have the powerful acting with no accountability at all. And our news media, they are cheering it on, besotted fangirls. No abuse is too grotesque for them. No talking point is too stupid to repeat. Reporters will do whatever they are told. They are all in. MSNBC recently sent a camera crew to document one of the latest and most Orwellian developments in America's descent into Chinese-style social control, barking drones that harangue citizens from the air. MSNBC was delighted by it.
Yo, so this is what I was talking about the other night. I was trying to describe this to you, man. Look, this is where we're at right now. Like, this is happening right now. We've seen movies and all that, Minority Report, things like that. Oh, let me turn my mic up. There. Getting worried. My mic's kind of low. Okay. The mic's way back there. My bad. So, I mean, we've seen these movies, Minority Report, about these dystopian futures, movies like Equilibrium, things like that, where we see this dystopian nightmare of a future, and it seems like we're getting really, really close to that. Because here, let me show you this. This is disturbing. We got drones flying around. There's people operating these drones, yelling at people from like some room. Check this out.
Go away from each other and separate.
Elizabeth, New Jersey is now using drones to spread the life-saving message.
You are not immune to this virus.
Move away from each other, commands the state of New Jersey. Break it up! Your God-given right to free assembly has been suspended indefinitely. Back inside, proles, or you will face the consequences. MSNBC applauds this as if it's all completely normal. In fact, it is, they tell us, a life-saving message. Handmaidens to the corona security state. But to their credit, at least MSNBC put it on television. Most outlets don't even bother to cover stories like this. The other day, prosecutors in New Jersey charged 9 people for daring to participate in a Jewish wedding in their backyard. A few months ago, that would have made the news. For 250 years, Americans have enjoyed the unfettered right to practice their faith as they choose. Now they don't. It happened overnight. Last month, Christians across the country were legally prohibited from celebrating Easter in their own churches. The national media barely noted it. How exactly is this happening? Well, it turns out that's not clear. Strangely, not very many people have asked. Politicians have no right to do any of this. They cannot make it illegal for people to go to religious services. The Constitution of the United States expressly prohibits that. The words could not be clearer. The First Amendment explicitly prevents government from making any law that inhibits the exercise of religious faith. That's not a detail or a footnote. It is a cornerstone of our history and of our legal system. Millions of people, probably your ancestors, fled to this country from around the world precisely because our Bill of Rights gave them this guarantee. It's why this country was founded. And in a moment, it's gone. How? Where did politicians get the authority to do this? Because some elderly, power-drunk epidemiologist told them to do it? That's not how our system works. It can't work that way.
It really can't.
Occasionally you hear someone complain about this. Some lonely civil libertarian will fret that we may be on a slippery slope toward losing our rights. If only. We're already there. We've slid to the bottom of that slope. Our rights are gone. No one has explained how politicians are allowed to do this. Where's the authority come from? How can they override the Constitution? Nobody seems to care. They're too afraid. But if you think this moment is scary, consider what might come next. Now that we've ceded all authority in the country to our political leaders, what can't they do? What are the limits to their power? That's not a theoretical question. It's not an argument over philosophy or political theory. It is the most practical possible question. The answer will define where this country goes next. What can't politicians do in the name of public health? As it stands, politicians won't let people worship, or work, or go to school, or see their aging parents. They place the nation under house arrest. That's happening today, right now. But let's say we all get more afraid. What then? What couldn't they start doing? Could they intern people? Seriously. You can dismiss the possibility of that if you like, but remember that just a few months ago, most of us would have dismissed as ludicrous the possibility that propaganda-spewing drones would be hovering above. Now we have them. So what's next? What can't...
That's a question. That's a question. See, that and that's what I'm saying. Like, we're gonna come to a point to where push is gonna come to shove. Now, I saw this quote up yesterday, and I just wanted to put it up one more time. And I mean, it made a lot of sense to me. Not sure how you feel about this. I'm looking at this whole situation like, if we're going to go about liberating ourselves at this point, we would all have to do it like together at the same time. I mean, everybody, essential and non-essential, should all come together at the same time. Vegan Warriors in the house. What's up, folks? What's up, man? Everybody would have to come together at the same time for us to get things back to the way that they were, because they're pushing it further and further every other day. Like, come on now. We got surveillance drones now telling people that they're not socially distancing. I saw a video this morning on Instagram of some people being roughed up by the police in New York, not because they were committing a crime, but because they were too close together. And that type of stuff's going on right now in America. It's supposed to be the land of the free, home of the brave, right? So what it says here is if we all decided to go about our daily lives, and I capitalized all because we would all need to participate at the same time in order to get things going back together. Everybody who's not some power hungry politician, one of these corrupt politicians, these criminals doing all kinds of sick stuff behind the scenes, we would all have to go back to our daily lives at the same time. Construction workers, business owners, CEOs, the baristas, everybody is going to have to grab the keys, go open the building, and get back to work and continue doing what we do. We don't have to listen to them. They're giving us guidelines. They're giving us guidance as far as how to navigate these things. But at the same time, it's not law. It's not law. So we're not locked into a point to where, they can't show us a statute or some code where it says you have to stay 6 feet apart. Has that been written into the law somewhere? These are guidelines. These are suggestions. And the only way that they get away with this is if we allow it. So if we all decide to go about our daily lives, there's not a damn thing that the government could do about it. We have an inalienable right to resume life. If we want freedom back, we're going to have to act like it. I didn't put any space between we have, but y'all know what I'm talking about, man. Look, it's up to us at this point. It's up to us at this point because these people are going to keep doing what they do. They're going to take it further. And I don't know if you've noticed, I've noticed this thing when the government goes about implementing some statute, some law, some order, it becomes the new normal. When they grab power, they don't give it back. They don't give it back. When they grab power from the people, they don't give it back. So at this point, we gotta draw a line in the sand, everybody at the same time, and just get back to doing what you do. And but the problem is that so many people still believe it. That's the problem. So many people still believe the narrative. So, they're still going to be, oh, no, I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get infected. Oh, you're being selfish by going out and not wearing your mask and all that. They tell you to wear a mask to keep you safe. You can hit them with that my body, my choice thing. You can explain to them that I have a condition where I need to intake oxygen on a regular basis. So if I have a mask on, I'm just breathing the CO2 that I exhale, then damn it, I'm going to have some problems. Hypoxia, I believe it's called. So no, not going to be able to do that. Actually, here, let me see. Shoot, I'm kind of upset that I didn't set this up because Dave Weiss sent me something. He sent me something that I would love to put up on the screen if I had it. But let me see. Let me set this up. I'm going to have to put on some music for y'all real quick. And then, because I really want to pull this up. Hold on, let me see. This will just take a minute. So I'm going to turn the song on. Let y'all listen to this. This is my man Seven. Flatline. Relax with that.
Seven got him jumping like the hopscotch. Running at the purpose with a stopwatch, yeah. Running for the seven, got rings on. Slave to that booth, I got chains on. Standing tall, I'm at skyscraper height. Too fast for these devils, I'm running up nitrous. I'm rolling no brakes, I think I should come Midas. 3 pair of ass, those the money on some ice. Sienna is what I'm rapping to the death of me. I got no complaints, the Lord just keep blessing me. Take these demons, has and put them in pedigrees. Royal child of God.
function. Trying to get it right. Set up in OBS. Hold up. What I got? Yeah. I think so. Let me see. Okay. All right. Perfect. That's all the time I needed. Not trying to get copyright for playing B.O.B. Okay, so yeah, this is what I wanted to show you all. Let me see now. That should be showing up for you all. Okay, so yeah, this is what Dave White sent to me. This is guidance here. So wearing a face mask is far more hazardous than the threat of coronavirus. Covering your nose and mouth forces you to inhale carbon dioxide constantly, limiting your oxygen intake. Hypoxia, or oxygen deprivation, impairs body functions, including brain activity. The oral bacteria that builds up inside your mask is another health hazard. Excessive oral bacteria harms tissue of the mouth, including gums and throat, as well as teeth. Your mouth needs constant airflow to stay healthy. Let me see. There was another one I think I wanted to put up there. So there was that. Yeah. I mean that's pretty much it. Let me see if I can pull up this other one he's got. Then I just closed out all of Facebook. Anyway, it's all good. Check it out. It's up to us if we're gonna get back to doing what we do. They can't force us to wear a muzzle if we don't want to. It's our body. It's our choice as to whether or not we want to, see ourselves as victims in this whole situation, where it's been proven that this virus is not nearly as destructive as they've been telling us that it is. So go ahead and close it out with that. And like, was there something else on it? There, the other one is on the front side. That's right. One more thing. I'm gonna play another song for y'all because it's Sunday. We all in the house anyway, just chilling. All right, so let me see. Let me throw this other one on, and I'm gonna grab this other screenshot that he had up. Let me real quick. Hold on. There it is. Okay.
Why y'all always falling for the devil scams? They wonder how you end up in the hellish jam. Dream two, grab a shorty at the house to win it. Got me wired up like it's fall to send it. Flexing for the Lord, got me pausing with it. Why you try to guide, got some gold and let me on the boat, big road, never sink, stay afloat. Yeah, bless the vibe tongue, got the coat, this fat coats, icy roads on the devil, got him slipping now. Back up in heaven, yeah, I'm tripping now. I'm lounging, I'm laxing, I'm living so lavish. I wake up to angels singing fruits and baskets. Got a mansion in my father's mansion, and he's still expanding. Earth is flat, it's never been a planet. Look up and examine, see the sun, moon, and stars, that's the firmament. I put a marker on these devils, shall be permanent. They seeking heat like the missile, I'm spazzing on these Gentiles, dissecting all the lies like it's surgery. Synagogue of Satan, false prophets, where you hiding at? Pull up in the hearse, put them all in the body bag. Coffin on top of coffin, that's cold, that's a cold. Levels on top of levels, that's flows on top of flows. Stepping on the double like the A-turn, yeah. Pull up on these demons with the pressure, that's a barbell. About to get real, it's about to get deep. Uncovering the lies, yeah, I'm pulling back the sheets. Bible in the Jimmy truck, King James rolling. Evilism must keep the King James loaded. The Bible last September when I learned to decode it. Book of Numbers don't lie, better read it, check the Romans. Idol worship, fake Messiah, Jewish liars, kill the virus, parasitic with your wicked ways, spreading like horizon. See you wolf in sheets clothing, see you snakes around my garden, see you leeches in that water, see you traitors in my quarters. I decapitated Judas, burn the witch, I hang a wicked slayer, demon cooking, serpent, smite whoever work for Satan. I ain't playing. No filter, no filter. The vessels rain down like an overflow. Robin is my drug, I'm about to overdose.
All right. Okay, so back on here. Let me transition that. All right. So, what you should be seeing right now is the front side of what Dave Weiss sent me. It says, I am exempt from any ordinance requiring the use of a face mask. Wearing a mask poses a mental and or physical risk to me. Under the Americans with Disabilities Act, I am not required to disclose my medical conditions. Department of Justice ADA violation reporting number is 800-514-0301. Violating the ADA can incur steep penalties. A fine of $75,000 may be imposed for initial violation, $150,000 for subsequent violations. Now, so that's a statement from Dave Weiss. You're gonna have to get with him to figure out how you're gonna get one of these cards printed out. But this is something that on the front, on the back, that you can carry around. If somebody's asking you why you don't have a mask, you can just whip that out real quick. So let me check the chat. He's probably putting information out there about that. Dave, you got a way that everybody can get this thing? DITRH in the house. If there's a way that you can get this forwarded to the folks, you can send me a link, and I'll put the link in the bio for this video, and people can get download these documents and then get them printed off and carry them with them. But it's up to us, folks. It's up to us to decide how long this is going to last, because it's looking like the government's just ignoring the data that's coming out as far as how deadly this thing is. So it's on us. We just gotta all decide to get back up and get out of the house and get back to doing what we're doing, because if we continue to stay in this position, just staying in the house, let me see. All right, Dave said the cards are posted on the Corona page on stoplookthink.com. Okay, so stoplookthink.com. That's where we're gonna have to go. So here, let me see now. I'll transition that back over here. Okay, let me see. Let me pull this up for you. Stoplookthink.com. Okay. You know what? You all might want to see this too. Let me get this pulled up. Yeah, let's explore this one together. There's a new page for me. Boom. Okay, I'll leave it right there. Yeah. All right. Transition. Okay, so this is stoplookthink.com. All right. Shout out to the lady Copper Butterfly, Indigenous X. I appreciate you. Keep going. Truth is truth. Real talk. Gartrell McKinney, I appreciate you too, man. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for the donations. Okay, so yeah, what Dave said is check out stoplookthink.com. So we've got lots of different tabs here to look into, and this is my first time even hearing about this. Mud floods, false flags. He said it's on the Corona tab. I believe that's it. Yeah, here we go. So if you go to stoplookthink.com and then you click on the Corona tab, then you're gonna click on that, and it's the first picture. So you can come here, download the images. You can please right click, choose save image as, and that's how you're gonna get this face mask exemption for yourself. So that's what it is, folks. Stoplookthink.com. Check the Corona hoax link, and yeah, Let me see. There it is. There it is. Just wanted to see. That you all get it. Hold on. Let me. Oh, I gotta fix. Let me get back on here. I gotta fix this thing. Transition. All right, there it is. Because I'm looking at the playback and I got half of the thing off of here. I appreciate you all, folks. So yeah. Now that's a little cleaner. Okay. So, boom. One more time, folks. It's up to us. If you don't want to wear a mask, you don't have to wear a mask. Print this out. You download it. Download the images. Print them out. Carry them on your person. If somebody's got a problem with you not wearing a mask, you can whip that out and let them know that you won't be muzzled. It's, you showing your face, no mask. That's the sign that you have an awareness that this is all a bunch of BS. So that's it. That's all I got for this one, folks. I don't want to drag this out too much longer. Just wanted to share some ideas with you and just, keep the dialogue going. But that's a solution. Use that. I'm going to hop off of this thing. Hope you all have a great day. I may end up going live later. There's no telling. I got to run some errands, but it's all good. Appreciate you all. Check out stoplookthink.com. Another shout out to Dave Weiss. Another shout out to my lady, Copper Butterfly, Indigenous X, my man, Gartrell McKinney. And where were you at, man? I appreciate y'all, man. I really do. There was another one in here, and I forgot who the heck it was. I appreciate anybody that put something up, man. Anybody that put up all the super chats. I appreciate y'all. I really do. But yeah, that's all I got, folks. I'm about to go ahead and hop off, man. Appreciate you. Have a great day. As always, be good to each other. Take care of yourself. Stay flat. Ooh, Project Veritas. Check those out. Project Veritas, they do that thing. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut this thing off. Appreciate it, folks.